obviously it's a very impressive vehicle. From a handling and everything standpoint. And you know, my intention was never to poo-poo on it by any means. My only thought was that the whole Venom kills demons thing. But you know, there's something interesting that's floating out there. Do you think that there is going to be another version of the GT500 similar to like how they have the GT350 and the GT350R? Maybe a potential. All right, guys, so we are going to talk about the Detroit Auto Show, and some really awesome vehicles were on display. I have a special guest, Paul from FamilyCruisin. How you doing, man?
What's up, YouTube? Thank you for having me on your channel, RT Life.
Oh, you got it. I really am very interested to hear what you have to say about a few of the vehicles. You want to kick it off with what you think about what Ford did with that GT500?
Yeah, so a little bit of history. The GT500 was announced or rumored back in 2017, right? And everybody thought the GT500 was going to be released last year in the New York Auto Show because they even had a website, GT500 2019 GT500, and it was a Ford website, a Ford performance site. And literally, this is a fact, Dodge moved up their promotion of the Dodge Demon because of that website and because of Ford. And so they did that whole long rollout of the Demon to kind of steal the thunder of the GT500, which everybody thought was going to be released in Detroit or Chicago. It never happened. And then, you know, it's almost like, where's Waldo or where's the GT500? And shortly after the New York Auto Show, these professional spy shots that, you know, Ford was a part of, because there's no way that you can have a guy standing in the middle of the street taking pictures as the car slowly drives by, and Ford doesn't know about it and doesn't approve of those spy shots. Right?
So wait, like Paul, do you think, because obviously you've seen the GT500, do you think it was a big mistake on their part to make it a track-focused car as opposed to a drag strip? Because you know, I think a lot of people were under the impression that it was going to be more of a straight line burner to compete with what Dodge is doing.
No, because I personally believe that, like just about everybody up until Dodge next year, has conceded the Raptor category to Ford, right? And other manufacturers have tried to steal the Wrangler market from Jeep. There's just certain vehicles that you're never going to steal the market. And I think Ford realized, and same thing with Chevy, that to compete on the drag strip, the Challenger is the perfect platform for it. And they can keep on adding horsepower after horsepower after horsepower and bigger engines and, you know, bigger blowers. They're never going to beat Dodge. So why compete in that market? They might as well go and compete for all the news media publications and things like that.
I mean, that's what I was saying in my video on Friday, that it seems as though Ford and Chevy are going toe-to-toe with one another. They're continuously building out vehicles to compete with one another, and Dodge is off doing their own thing. Really, they're their own competition at this point.
Correct. And I don't think Ford has any desire to compete with Dodge in the drag racing scheme. One, yeah, it does really fast, but unfortunately, I think Ford is too interested in media rather than their customers or media accolades.
So like the video, I hate to keep bringing it up, but the video on Friday got so much crap. And you know what, guys? If you haven't checked out that video, definitely go check it out. Make sure you like it, because a lot of these Ford guys are hitting that dislike button. Make sure you like it. But you know what? I said it was a bit of a letdown because of the whole, you know, Venom kills demons. And do you think that was just a huge misstep, or do you think there was some kind of a misunderstanding with that? Or
yeah, Ford let it kind of go that this was going to be a demon competitor, right? Or that this was going to be a Hellcat Red Eye competitor, when they shouldn't have, because this is no way a Red Eye competitor. The Red Eye does 10.8 in the quarter mile. virtually the same quarter mile speed as a wide body Hellcat. That you put some good drag radials on, 17-inch or 18-inch drag radials on a red eye, that thing's going to hook and it's going to go right into the 10-1, 10-2s, right? There's not.
Do you think that the GT500 isn't even going to be on the Hellcat red eyes level at the drag strip?
It might be on the 715 horsepower or 717 horsepower Hellcat, but not on a red eye and a set of tires.
Okay.
And, you know, yeah, a good set of drag radials is not technically stock, but who goes to the drag strip on stock tires? Not very many people.
No one does.
And for the $400 or $500 it costs for a set of drag radials, and if you get a set of 18-inch wheels, it might cost you $1,000 to all in. The value is totally there, and you could run 10-1, 10-2s all day. There's no way this GT500 with even with their dual clutch 7-speed is going to run low 10s. It will not happen.
Okay. So you know, here's why I thought that Ford was going to try to compete with Dodge is because they've done very well with the GT350R for their track purpose car. I thought that the GT500, you know, from its earlier days was really not earlier days like 60s, 70s. I'm talking about like the 2000s and such. It was a high horsepower straight line burner, correct?
Yeah. And the 13 and 14 GT500s, I drove one. It's a fun car. One of the things that
the 5.8, right?
Yeah, the 5.8 liter. What really got me sad about this development was that there is no true 6-speed manual option. And no matter what anybody says, the Tremec is not a manual transmission. It's a dual clutch, which, you know, it's the first dual clutch a Tremec has ever made. So what's the reliability on that? The other stunning part about this was, and when you put it in your video, I wasn't quite sure that you were accurate, was the 7-speed dual clutch. I was convinced that they were going to put the 10-speed in it.
That's what a lot of people were saying. They thought because of the success with the GT that the 10-speed was going to work its way in there. A lot of people, I think, went 10-speed and then manual, 2 options.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were going to do. I thought it was going to be the same. Or they might go crazy and do like a 6-speed manual only version, like a GT500R.
So,
or something like that.
Okay, so, you know, continuing to stack the GT500 up with cars. On the drag strip, the red eye has it. So do you think that this new GT500 is going to successfully compete or beat the ZL1 1LE?
Yes.
So it's going to be a notch above that Camaro.
Yeah, it's going to be close to ZR1 territory.
Okay.
Corvette territory. Yep. And the reason is it has the biggest brakes, carbon ceramics. It's I firmly believe, and it is going to have 100 more horsepower and very similar weight. Ford knows how to put the power down. So it's not going to be like a Hellcat, which can't put the power down anywhere but at a drag strip with drag radials. So this car is going to be able to put the power down, and I think it's going to annihilate the ZL1 1LE. Completely annihilate it. And I think it's going to be in very close to Porsche GT3 numbers. 911
so, do you think it's going to be, you know, from a track perspective? Do you think it's a top 10, top 15 car?
Yeah, I think it could end up. I think it could be sub 7 second in the or 7 minute at the Nürburgring.
Okay.
I think it's that fast. It's built to be. I think this car is supposed to compete with that category of car. And I think
that I mean, so obviously it's a very impressive vehicle from a handling and everything standpoint. And, you know, my intention was never to poo-poo on it by any means. My only thought was that the whole Venom kills demons thing. But, you know, there's something interesting that's floating out there. Do you think that there is going to be another version of the GT500 similar to like how they have the GT350 and the GT350R, maybe a potential drag racing version or something?
No, because this generation Mustang is very long in its tooth, right? It came out in what, 2015? That means the redesign is going to be coming in 2021. I think this is going to be a 2020 and 2021 car, and then the new car is going to come out in 2022. So, no, this is what you're going to get for the next 2 years. That hood, though, man, that's one sick hood.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the styling is menacing looking. You know, I loved it.
This is the best looking Mustang that I think they've made in 30 years.
Yeah, I agree. As soon as I saw the unveiling, I was like, man, I love the stance of it. It's very wide, beefy. Yeah. You know, the front of it looks like it wants to rip your head off.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a lot more aggressive than, like, say, a red eye. Yeah. So yeah, I absolutely love it. What do you want to talk about next?
So yeah, let's move over to the Supra, and this is something that I've been looking forward to since I saw that concept, and you know, I've just been waiting for this day for, what was it, 2 years or something like that. So what are your thoughts on it? Right now, what I've seen is it's very similar to the BMW. It has a inline six with forced air. It takes a lot of the traits from, what is it, the BMW
Z4.
That's it. So what are your thoughts on this?
It looks like a BMW Z4 hardtop. You know, the engine is way back. It doesn't look like it even remotely close to a Supra. I keep on looking over at a picture of it. You know, yeah, from everything I understand, is it's going to drive completely different than the BMW because it's different architecture and suspension and all that jazz. I think this car is not going to get the legendary status of the original Supra, just because the BMW 3-liter inline six that they're putting in this, which it is a BMW engine that they're putting in this, won't be able to do the 700 horsepower, 800 horsepower like the 2JZ engine. Not to mention, it isn't going to have the driving dynamics of a Toyota 6-cylinder, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to drive similar. It's going to have similar power delivery of a BMW. So I think,
let me ask you, the BMW, what price point is that?
In the 60s. I mean, the Z4 is going to be in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, that's about where the Supra,
yeah.
They released some of the pricing, and they said that it was going to be, you know, 49 to 52, depending on the options.
Yeah.
You know, that's priced out right where the BMW would fall.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think the Supra is going to be, you know, woo, for about 6 months, and then nobody's going to care.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I wasn't really impressed with the horsepower torque figures, but when you're talking about a car that weighs that little, it's pretty impressive. I mean, they were going over some of the 0 to 60s, and what was it, 4.1 seconds? You know, that's pretty.
Yeah. Here's the thing: the original Supra, dead stock, with the 2JZ turbo engine, could beat a Mustang GT and a Camaro SS at that time. Would run right alongside them or beat them, right? This will not run alongside a Camaro SS or a Mustang GT. It will smoke them. That's the other part of it, right? It's not that fast, and it's not going to be tuner friendly like the original one is. And that's what got the legendary status.
Because it was easily modified.
Exactly.
And it was able to handle large amounts of horsepower. So,
exactly.
So, you know what? I'm going to have Paul back on. We're going to discuss a couple more topics. You know what? I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, picking Paul's brain on some of the things that are out there at this point. I know I enjoy it. And, Paul, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks, man. Yeah, why don't your subscribers put in the comments below what they what the next topic will be. You pick up 3 or 4 questions out of them, and you know, there's certain topics that I won't talk about, but you know, if you want to know my bra size, I'll answer that.
All right, you heard it. guys. So you know what? Paul's gonna come back on, and we're gonna talk some car stuff. And yeah, that's that.